Disappointed with what happened tonight. I can see your right eye is completely closed. Yeah. What didn't go right tonight?
Just getting hit by that left hand over and over. It's like I couldn't get away from it. He's quick and he's strong and powerful and experienced. So credit to him and his team for getting the win. That was like, you know, when you take risks, sometimes it doesn't go your way. So I'm just disappointed. But I'll be back. It's not the end of my journey. And if I decide to rematch him next or whenever, I'll be back anyway. I'll be reviewing my loss and see where I can make the improvements and stuff. But yeah, just massively disappointed. I thought I'd get the win tonight, and yeah, sometimes it's just, mate, sometimes it doesn't go your way, and that's what happened.
What happened, I think, you know, from our perspective anyway, and certainly from yours, he was able to create angles with that left hand. He's deceptive in the way he moves. Yeah. He's not a great footworker, but he does create angles for that left hand.
Yeah, and it just kept on getting my eye. Like I'm fine, I'm completely fine, but yeah, now it's closed up, so I can't see out of it now. But yeah, it's so disappointing when you get a loss. But I'll be back. But mate, I'll just have to go back to the drawing board. I haven't fought a southpaw for a long time, so yeah, I just need to look over the tape. Like, I thought, like I could have carried on. I was taking his shots fine and stuff, but it's just unfortunate that I closed up. But I'll be back.
Because he sneakily took a look in at his mum. I'll just let you two have a moment together. He took a sneaky look at you when Ismail Salas told you to bring it on in the 5th or 6th round, where when he was throwing punches for you to come back even harder, and he sat back and he just sneakily attacked your eye for that last kind of 5 or 6 minutes of the fight. And then as Howard Foster and the doctor decided, you can't fight one-eyed in this sport.
Yeah, it's eye done.
I'm going to pause it there because I'm saving this video for tomorrow, exposing the scam anyway. But let's get to the video. We heard there from Big Joe reacting to his loss. I have to give Big Joe a lot of credit. Later on in the interview, he says, I give Zhang a lot of credit. Zhang did what he's supposed to do. And listen, man, Joe, I don't care what no one says, Joe's a throwback fighter. Yeah? He ain't fighting Jermaine Franklin. He ain't fighting any other Derek Chisora. Now, listen, maybe Zhang's easy work. If Zhang's easy work, AJ, go in there and show us. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Fury, if Zhang's easy work, go in there and show us. Listen, I think Fury beats Zhang, I ain't gonna lie to you. For what it's worth. I think Fury beats Usyk as well, for what it's worth. The difference is, Joe actually runs it. Joe's a UFC throwback, old school kind of fighter. Let's run it with the best opposition possible. Time and time again. He came unstuck. Is it ideal? Does it give me a hard on? No, but it is what it is. And certain points of this interview, he looked a bit dejected. That's how I feel. Again, I said it in my last video, I've never felt so flat in my life. Well, I have, but do you know what I'm saying? As far as boxing goes, this is the bottom. I'm bottoming out right now, man. I'm bottoming out. I feel proper. Like there's no hope in the game left. Do you know what I'm saying? Like of all the things God could do, yeah. If there was one guy to keep on, do you know what I mean? If there was one guy to pattern up, it was Joe. Maybe it's a minor setback, yeah, for a major comeback. All I'm gonna say is that Joe mentioned that number one, if he decides to fight Zhang again, he's almost implying he's not very sure. Listen, I said in my last video, I'm going to keep reiterating it. Ismail Salas is no good. In fact, Ismail Salas is the southpaw. Well, Ismail Salas gets smoked by southpaws. Errol Spence, southpaw. Ugas, eye popped. It's almost as if, do you know what I mean? Salas trains his fighters to get popped by the straight left hand. That's what it's, and it makes sense because obviously one of my bros said, who's experienced high level at boxing, yeah, the drills Joe does with Salas, like they've got a static wire, and Joe's going like these punches. Zhang isn't the most creative puncher. Zhang has a big left hand and something else. Like, what are you doing in training that you weren't prepared for Zhang's big left hand? In fact, any southpaw. And then what gets me the most is that what's his name? Joyce said, I haven't fought a southpaw in a while. Well, the last time, I think, is Brian Jennings a southpaw? I'm not sure, but anyway. For sure, Usyk versus Joyce in a WBSS. And again, what happened there? Usyk couldn't miss him with a straight left hand. And to be honest with you, it's not even about the straight left hand. Since Joe's career began, straight shots, whether it's Christian Hammer or whether it's Zhang, Joe is a sucker for a right hand, a backhand, a sucker for one. And I'm sorry, but Salas has had his time now. Yeah, Salas has had years with Joe, and he still is a sucker for a right hand. Yeah, if Zhang can hit you with a right hand and bust your eye within, this fight was stopped extraordinarily early. For Joe's eye was done after about 3 or 4 rounds, which shows you, and Zhang wasn't that active. He was accurate, obviously, and he was heavy-handed, but Zhang wasn't throwing 20 right hands, left hands per round, meaning that Joe was literally taking them so flush, it was causing his eye to swell up so quickly. He wasn't even a bit out of the way. And for me, that's on Salas. Of course, you can only bring a man to drink, but still, I keep mentioning it, but it's true. You don't see Canelo, you don't see Bivol, you don't see Callum Smith, you don't see Liam Smith. I'm thinking of guys with, even Hergovich. Watch these guys fight, man. They know how to square their hands up. They know how to narrow their hands up. Your guard isn't AJ, for example, classic Ruiz. AJ's guard versus Ruiz. Dong, dong, dong. What are your hands doing here? At shoulder, you know what I mean? Or here. No good. The best fighters, their guards. Canelo was clearly getting outboxed by Kovalev. But guess what? Canelo took most of the shots on the gloves and arms. That peekaboo, not peekaboo. Either way you look at it, the high guard. Classic. There's no reason Joe can't have that. It should be one of the one thing all top level boxers do is have that high guard nailed in. I don't know what the big mystery. I don't understand it. I don't understand how some fighters know how to keep their hands up in the right position and some fighters don't. I'm sick of hearing about Cuban style. I've got Cuban style, but I don't even mind the Cuban style. Like, in my mind, the Cuban style is kind of like, I'm going to move my feet. Well, I give Joe credit. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if Salas was in the camp then, but Joe used his feet against Dubois. I expected him to do the same against Zhang, actually. I expected Joe to come out. Bear in mind he was weighing light. I was expecting him to come out, get the jab going, and move his feet back and forth, as he did, like he did against Dubois. Instead, he was like, just wading forward, with no respect, but getting popped. There was where was the change in strategy? Where was Salas saying, okay Joe, we've taken a few left hands, let's just, like in my mind, if I was training Joe, yeah, we'd have different setups that we know, you know what I mean? Like, for example, it's time to go Dubois mode now. Do you know what I mean? It's time to get on the jab and be on our P's and Q's. Let's get our jabs. We know Joe Joyce here has a magical jab. Why was that not the game plan? That should be the game plan from day one. Establish our jab. Especially against a southpaw. Let's get our range right first with the jab before we start just slapping shots around, knocking on the door, as my mate was, as Ollie would say. Do you know what I mean? It's not even like Joe's shots were really effective. And instead, I understand it, Salas will say, well, I encouraged him to run forward because his eye was about to close. Where was the strategy early in the fight? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's no good getting your eye bust and then having to... Joe didn't come out trying to box from the start. Now you can say, YB, you're backtracking because you talk about Juggernaut. No, I've never said Joe. If you can run a video, yeah, of me saying Joe should come wading forward against Zhang and just start letting his hands go. I've never said that. I've always respected Zhang. I thought Joe would get him late I thought Joe would wear him out and get him late, but I didn't think Joe would just come. I guess it sounds naive. Come wading in and just get, you know what I mean, get his eye popped. I know, I'm sorry, I have to blame Salas. I didn't see no... If there was a strategy, I didn't see it. If there was improvement, I didn't see it. Is it possible to have a bad night? Yes, but this was more than a bad night. No strategy, no improvement. The bare bones basics weren't done. Again. We've seen it since Christian Hammer. We've seen it since Takam. Move your feet back. Move your head. Or keep your hands up. Those are the three general things. I mean, Joe, that's the thing I don't get. Joe in the past, when he fought Dubois, he actually had some head movement. There was absolutely no head movement tonight. None. He's gone backwards. Joe was actually bending at the waist, I remember. Dubois is known for a big right hand. Zhang is known for a big left hand. Where is the, okay, I'm going to roll. Joe was doing it. Joe was pulling back against Dubois and rolling and bending at the waist. I don't get it. I don't understand how you can be doing something 3 years ago and stop doing it. Do you know what I mean? That for me is on the trainer. Bottom line. I've been saying it for a while. I don't rate Joe's trainer. I'm going to keep saying it. And it's not because I'm a hater. Listen, if Joe wasn't getting rocked by bums, Christian Hammer, Takam, by the same shots, that's something wrong there. It shouldn't take years. It's not fair enough here. Listen, I'm not saying you can go into water and not get wet. No one's saying Joe should never ever take a shot. Canelo gets hit. The issue I do have is that no adjustments are made in the fight. No adjustments are made in the camps, from camp to camp, from year to year. The same shots are landing. All you have to do against Joe, apparently, is go in there and start winging the timing is. Because Joe gets into flurries and he starts slapping. All you have to do, let Joe commit, tuck up like Zhang was doing, and pop your straight hand out there. If that's all it takes is one punch to stop someone, there's something wrong in the camp. Someone isn't doing their job properly, in my opinion. It's Joe's job to execute. It's Salas's job to train Joe properly. Now, if Joe keeps dropping his hands, we ain't moving from that point. If I was training Joe, yeah, I'd have someone in there, especially for this camp. If I was training Joe, I'd have Joe doing 15 rounds, 3-minute rounds, with a southpaw, just getting used to the straight left hand. Whether it's having his hands up, parrying, or stepping off, do you know what I mean? Stepping off, slipping, or stepping back. Do you know what I mean? Get used to rounds and rounds and rounds of that straight. Get used to it. It looked like he'd never seen a straight left hand before. Again, fair play to Zhang. Zhang was, obviously, it's easier said than done, always. But still, let's not forget people. Zhang, it's not like Zhang went 12 rounds with Hrgovic. Do you understand? Relevance? Well, it's not like Zhang is some, do you know what I mean? I think Zhang went 12 rounds with Jerry Forrest as well, in a close fight. Point, well, Zhang isn't a pure smoke. He's not going to smoke your boots in one punch. Them guys, Jerry Forrest was able to survive 12 rounds of Zhang. Hrgovic was able to survive 12 rounds of Zhang. Many other people have been 12 rounds of Zhang. But Joyce, Juggernaut can't. That's something fundamental wrong, especially when you add in all the other BS. Hammer, Takam. How many more times do you have to see this? The training needs to change. I'm sorry, but I could do a better job myself. And that's just the bottom line. I'd feel bad. If I trained to fight someone, yeah, and they get lit up like that from the shot you knew was coming. You don't have to watch much of Zhang to know that his straight left hand's coming at some point. Do you know what I mean? Straight left hand and a right hook. That's Zhang in a box. Anyway. Yeah, I pray for Joe. Let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell, 100% confirmed. Big shout out to my doggy Wesley Andrews as well for coming through and boosting the coin up, no doubt about 100%.